This shit's dumb. Picardly Wade. Fucking dumb. Picardly Wade. Really dumb.
All right.
Good clap.
I will not say the third one.
Control.
Hey everybody, welcome to Can't Picardly Wait. That's the podcast you're listening to, and you know by now. My name is Wade. With me is Glenn Hall.
Hello.
And Sean Parata.
What up?
Not much. We're just talking to everybody. The world is ending, and we're coming at you from our very remote, secure locations. But
yeah, we usually record together in a broom closet, but
yes.
Now we're doing the responsible thing and each recording at our homes.
Social distancing.
In our each individual broom closets. It's actually not that different. But, but I guess the whole world is listening from their own little closets.
Right.
Or maybe not. This week it's just me, these three guys, all are in the New York metro area. We got 2 boroughs in Jersey. Oh, I just revealed our locations, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Right, I wonder, there's like parts of the country where people might be listening to this that they're like, what, quarantine? What?
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, everybody, Hugh from the regular Kickers of Elves is in Missouri, and I don't think there's no
shelter in place.
There aren't even any cases there.
Yeah, but I mean, they're supposed to be watching it, but people don't give a fuck. They're like,
Right.
Well, hopefully listening to this will convince people,
yes,
do the right thing, stay shelter in place.
I really think this being the only of, I guess, 2 now Star Trek Picard podcasts out there.
Right, our nemesis.
It's really, I think that we're finally going to get the public service announcement out there that really, really finally gets people to pay attention.
Well, I mean, but I think, isn't this a prescient time for a very unique and innovative plotline for a CBS All Access Star Trek series where all of society is going to be wiped out.
Right?
By a fucking non-inorganic life form.
Synthetic life, yeah.
But it's not the Reapers.
It's not the Reapers.
I fucking hate Star Trek. No, you're right. It's not, quote-unquote, the Reapers.
It's the legally
Don't
distinct.
Fear the Reaper. Sorry, I'm going to Sean now, except you sing it better. No. Yeah, so
you got a beautiful.
But anyways, all right. Now that we got the PSA out of the way and we solved the whole quarantine issue,
we did it.
We've hinted at it a little bit. We're going to talk about this last episode of Star Trek Picard. What was it called? This one?
Hold on, I have it right here. It's No. It's I. There we go. Where the?
So you didn't really have it.
Yeah.
So the name of the episode is Et in Arcadia Ego Part 1.
Oh, it's ego, not ergo.
That is what the official materials say.
Okay, I don't know. I don't speak Latin. I'm assuming it's Latin.
I took 6 years of Latin.
Well, what's it? What does it mean?
I don't know.
What does it all mean?
I don't know.
Sean?
None of it's stuck.
I could not tell you if you put a gun to my head.
It means I did well on the SATs. That's what it means.
Well, yeah. There's really no way to find this out.
No, there's no.
Oh, it's a French Baroque painting by Nicolas Poussin, which, to boil it down for you, basically is about the inevitability of death.
Ah.
Oh, great.
The title translates to "Even in Arcadia, there I am." With
sure.
Interesting.
Just call it.
These are the kind of things that a podcast about the show should maybe tell people.
Well, look, yeah. Just call it the inevitability of death. Who cares? Move on.
Yeah, but then you don't get to make a sweet-ass reference, which Star Trek loves to do.
Sure.
And there is a very proud tradition of Star Trek episode titles being a little bit, esoteric.
Pretentious.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we go over extensively on the ROA.
Yeah. There you go.
Listen to the ROA Wednesdays.
Wednesdays on UPN.
But this episode, it sounds like you did not care for it, Sean.
No, fucking no. I didn't mind it until, the end.
What?
The reveal, the reveal that, the danger is that, the synthetics are going to wipe everything out.
Oh, well, yeah, that was obvious, right? Like,
I know it was obvious, but we spent all season hoping that wasn't what was going to happen.
Well, it's not what's going to happen.
I know it's not what's going to happen, but it's the it's now
it's
the
just
danger.
that one evil Soji dodged because she is the one that kind of turns
right.
The bronzer Soji
is that Jana or Sutra?
That's Sutra because Jana was the one that was on.
Yes, Jana Sutra.
Oh God,
John. Ooh.
Is their names? That's what those twins are named. Jana and Sutra.
I wish her name was Kama.
Yeah, me too. I think it's close enough.
There's a non-zero chance it's intentional.
Yeah,
and the vibe of that like synthetic commune
is that she fucks.
Well, yeah, like
oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Like very like what's that Netflix doc? The Wild Wild Country, is that the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, sorry, Sean.
That's okay.
I've devolved into my Star Trek fandom here, which, again...
Right.
I guess sometimes, like, this is the kind of thing that I'm combating myself... Oh, I can't even talk. I'm mixed about on the show is this and my entire relationship to Star Trek. But you know what? It was a very kind of classic TOS, even. They're in togas almost.
Sure.
Sex,
very TOS.
Yeah. And, for that, I liked that aspect.
I just wish now they're not like, oh, they have to stop this thing from wiping out all human life. I'm cool. Great.
I have a theory, because I agree with you, Sean, that if the actual end game is, well, the synthetics actually are bad, like that's...
No, I don't think the I don't think the synthetics are bad.
You think just the one, Sutra?
Yeah, I think that where did this admonition come from? What is this? What is all? I don't really give a shit, but I do give a shit about, like, right, at the end of all of this, like, we have to end up in a world where synths are allowed to exist again. Right. Or else, like... What the fuck did we do this for?
Right. I mean, and it's obviously setting up that Soji is gonna I mean, I thought it did okay, they're falling into the trap of what's been set. The admonition, which they thought was just like a mind fuck to tell humans to kill synthetics or else it's actually a message to synthetics that the humans will wipe them out, so they better call for backup first.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously Soji's going to find wait a minute, no, we can try to be better, and that's going to how it...
Yeah, of course.
There's a third way. A third light, if you will, being presented at the end of this game.
Right. There are 4 lights. No, not 5. Sorry, that's a deep cut. You'll get to it eventually, Mr. Status Report.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't... When you said there are 3 lights...
I won't.
Yes. Yeah, give me all your disdain. Give me all your... Give me your hate.
Take it, you mother. Star Trek is bad. Nah, it's pretty good.
Hey, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I like this episode in a vacuum, but we just did, synthetic life tries to wipe out all organic life on Discovery, you know?
It does. It's interesting to see that become a theme of the CBS All Access era of Star Trek in general, is just the, synthetic and AI antagonists.
Which is do we really Skynet is, has been done before.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer, but the way that they came about it is not once I'm already going along with the oh God, we're doing Reapers.
Right. Sure. I like the execution of all of this.
That they give a reason for why they would be scared enough to go ahead and do this, because there's all these Romulans going to come murder them. And it's the only way, but then they're going to find out it's not the only way. I mean, that's classic Star Trek stuff. It's a little bit... Right. It's a little bit obviously classic Star Trek stuff to an extent here.
But that's not in and of itself a bad approach. If they want to go that route, then I think that's great. Not everything has to, reinvent the wheel. This doesn't have to be the Star Trek story that defines Star Trek stories.
Right. The argument that Star Trek should be Star Trek is maybe not a hot take.
No, of course not. But
because their whole thing is they're trying, I mean, I don't know. We're almost done with the season, and it feels to me like...
Is this the penultimate episode?
This is the penultimate episode.
Okay. Yep.
It feels to me even with the big... Oh, we haven't even done a summary of this episode, but do we need to? We'll just catch all the parts.
We can do a quick. Yeah, I don't think there's really much.
But like starting off, like it's finally a planet that they're going to that feels like Discovery never did, basically, where they're encountering new life or whatever, even if it's new life created by Maddox. And
well, he even says, I have a first contact situation.
Right. But like the giant flowers coming up and catching the ship, and like that's some
fucking cool.
That was fun.
I love that. That was I wrote in my notes.
That ruled.
Major Star Fox vibes, because especially in some of the later games, there are a lot of like flower like organic bosses and stuff. And
did you know they're orchids?
Oh yeah, it's like that's what we just call them, orchids. Like, oh okay,
yeah, that's fine.
Soji's suddenly having her memory back is like, well, that's convenient, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a. I feel like a lot of shows do these like brute force actions where it's like, oh, just even though you don't really buy it, like just accept that she's got her memory back, and it makes everything else flow a lot easier versus trying to like tediously.
Sure. And given how the beginning of the season and just like the feel of this episode at the end, and what I know from all the behind the scenes rumors, all alleged, like with Michael Chabon seemed to have been taking more of a role as the showrunner on the back end of production than he had at the beginning when it was him. And it feels like they're like trying to get that more kind of that
tricky feel.
Yeah, to an extent. And I'm there for it.
I'm in.
But it's also but then you could also say that's by design. They're going from dark to light in the season.
Hey, look, if it works, it works, and I won't be too concerned about how they got there.
Right. But like all the crew of the Serena coming together is like a kind of family or whatever.
I will say, and this is another one of those sort of like brute force actions, when he comes out and says, "Oh, well, basically with the energy of like a Staples manager like meeting on a Monday morning, like, oh, hi everyone, gather round, so we're on a planet of synths, and by the way, I've got a terminal thing and we're not going to talk about it." That
was weird.
That was the energy of that was very strange. It did not match the gravity of what he was actually talking about in a way. It was just, and it was also not that these like characters have not like grown to like each other, but like most of them don't really know Picard, so it's like, I guess of course they care, but like he wouldn't need to inform them, like he's not obligated to tell them about him being sick.
I think we've like come long enough on this journey that like
maybe so
that they like at the very least are like, this is Jean-Luc Picard, and they've watched him, like be so driven in this quest, be so, that I buy the emotional impact that it has on them.
I bought it too, because like with Gerard, he has the weird little stroke out thing where I thought he was like possessed or something.
I thought he was possessed as well.
But and then Gerardi's a doctor, so she does a scan and is like, "Oh, this is what's going on," and he's like, "No, it could be an error. It could be dum dum dum. Oh God, you're gonna die." And he's like, "I know what it is." So he has to tell her what's up, and then everybody's, "Oh fuck, this guy's dying." And
which, by the way, Trope Watch, that's another thing that's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, is the example of someone who is an expert in their field and is technically a doctor having medical expertise for some reason, because she's not a medical doctor. She's a doctor of synthetic and AI
creating, creating life. So it makes sense that she would have some expertise. And then later in the episode with Dr. Song, let's get to him.
Yeah, that
put a pin in him, because I got a lot to talk about there.
Yeah,
she's like, "Oh, I'm a good person to try to making an organic body, and they're gonna try to do a mind transfer or something to it."
Is that how Picard survives for later seasons?
I don't know. I hope not, because I have other thoughts about that whole kind of plot. But
all right, we'll talk. It just feels like dropping that is like not an accident,
Yeah.
You haven't figured out the mind swap yet? Not yet, but maybe I can help you figure it out.
Right.
The episode that she finds out Picard is terminal,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so there's an episode of TNG where someone, like on the human side of things, not like some ultra advanced alien like in TOS episodes, but like that. There's I think it's season 1 or 2 where some scientist who was a contemporary of Noonien Soong figures out mind transfer and transfers his mind into Data, and eventually has his mind transferred back into like the computer where it like kind of dissipates. But like in the canon, it has been established specifically with regards to synthetics that mind transfer is possible with the Federation's level of technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's a TV show. They've got space magic. They can do whatever they want. You know?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious if that guy's... I'm forgetting what the character's name is, but it was a good episode. Okay. I'm curious if...
I mean, and they took Spock's brain out in season 3 of TOS, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But we won't talk about... Sorry, I brought that up.
That's a much maligned episode, if I recall correctly.
Yes, it is. Sorry, Sean. But not sorry.
What? Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm awake. I'm here.
So what were we talking about? The stroke and then...
Oh, he like the meeting's like, oh, I have a brain thing, and that's the last we'll say of it. And then I think that's when they go out into the planet and meet.
What? I just want to hop back even like just a second. That space fight looked like shit.
The one with the flowers and everything? And when the Borg come in?
No, that part looked cool. Just the stuff before that when they're like,
it's like
when they're shooting at Namek and Namek is shooting at them. I just like, they've done like better looking space fights, I feel like, in
Sean.
Like Discovery. What?
You know that Namek is the planet from Dragon Ball Z, and
yes, that doesn't change the fact that I don't know that guy's name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I thought that was fine, but you know what? The person I was watching it with was like, that is stupid. Like, how come he's getting shot? And then I had to explain shields in Star Trek, and she was like, "Fuck you,
right?
Fuck you."
Yeah,
I'm talking about how the actors look shitty in that fight,
right?
And it looks bad. It's like, I'm sorry, I was mansplaining, and I should apologize.
I just thought stuff in Disco looked like better. I thought they did some of like the.
See, for me, Disco, it was too pew pew, and this was more like, I guess maybe classic Star Trek space fights are kind of boring. So
right, sure, yeah.
Well,
so that's my problem. What's wrong with me?
I would argue that the excitement of Star Trek space battles are more in the kind of naval aspect of it.
Right.
Oh, they're submarine battles. That's what.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Yeah.
Con is classic. I mean, that's what's fun. Yeah.
Right. That's sort of gone now.
But like the actors are selling it, not the effects of the ships.
Yeah.
But that is kind of, it's a new world. You can't really, I understand. You need to be more excited.
Right. I thought one of the things Discovery did well was like the effects. And like, if you're going to do it, like they did it, and I dug it. And I thought this was a little more.
See, I was okay with it. That, well, don't get me started on that. Sorry, disco finale.
No, that's
just throw a billion lasers everywhere. And it's like that's the wrong way to do a space fight, in my opinion. But
yes.
But,
the Borg cube looked cool. The entrance was cool.
Yeah, the Borg cube.
Yeah. My prediction borne out because I said last week that 7 would arrive with the Borg cube Valkyrie style, and sure enough,
nobody disputed you. No, we didn't doubt you.
No,
I know that. Again, Glenn, not a hot take you had.
No,
Right.
But I was kind of right about Brent Spiner showing up. Not exactly.
You were. Yeah, let's talk about Dr. Sung's son.
So is that a thing?
Is it Alton soon? No, not Alton soon. Alton Brown.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. No. It's going to say that next.
Right.
Is it like an established fact that Data is based on...
Yes. So Noonien Soong appears in an episode of TNG, and it is Brent Spiner in like ultra old man makeup.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and then he dies, and then...
Yep.
So this is his son that nobody ever knew about.
His son also looks exactly like his...
Right. So...
okay, that's fine. Yeah,
looking like him is fine, but it's a real Savic's Curcialin.
Cybok.
It's a real Cybok situation here.
Sure.
With, the son that nobody...
Right.
Never mentioned before and will never be mentioned again after this.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, part of me is... crossing my fingers, they have a big reveal. I'm hoping I call it, and that everybody's going to be surprised, and that I can really wave my dick around about how right I was, or more. Maybe I'll not. Maybe I'll keep it in my pants.
Yeah. You got to be tasteful.
Wave it around.
But here's my hopeful prediction, because I hate the idea of, he just has a son we didn't think. That's how we got.
Feels lazy.
Here's my hope and my prediction is that, in fact, and I don't know how far we are with you, Glenn. We'll get to that in your status report.
I wish we wouldn't.
That it's not an actual son of Dr. Soong, sing me a song.
You're the piano man.
That it's actually Lore, Data's brother, pretending to be a human
That would be great.
and made himself look old, because how hard can that be to do?
Right.
Probably not that hard.
I'd love that.
And then instead of creating a synthetic, she's like, oh, you created a synthetic body. He's like, no, actually, that's the body. And he's trying to transfer himself into a human body, or vice versa. Because,
Something like that, yeah.
yeah, because if it turns out, because nobody's mentioned Lore this whole time, we had before.
Yeah, it's weird.
And Lore showing up, secret villain, would be fun, and people would actually, I think people would respond a lot better than that. Then I was like, oh, there's a fifth person that looks just like Dr. Soong. It's like, come on.
Right.
But, you know.
There's a fifth Brent Spiner wandering around.
Right. And there's something fishy. Obviously, baby Soong Jr. here has got some ulterior things, because him and Bronzer Soji seem to be on the same page, right?
Yeah.
They fuck.
They're definitely on the kill all humans type bender.
Yeah.
Pun intended. And by the way, I looked it up. His name is, in fact, it's spelled differently, Alton Inigo Soong.
You killed my father.
Yeah, right. Which that's gotta be intentional.
Data's brother being named Lore it's the worst. It's the worst.
Data Lore, you don't like that?
That's so stupid.
No, it's great.
You could shut
Is he the
I love
opposite?
TNG so much right now. No. Huh?
Is
Yes.
he the opposite of Data?
Oh, he's an evil twin. Yeah, he's classic evil twin.
Sure.
He is basically a Bizarro Data.
All right.
Have you seen any of those episodes yet? Or tell us later. Put it.
Yeah, I'll say it for a second.
Don't talk about it now.
I said I'm saving it for later.
He was supposedly the first version of Data that had emotions, but he was evil, so his dad had to decommission him, and then he comes back.
But
Yeah.
Noonians still believed in him.
Can other
right.
beings teach themselves the Vulcan mind meld?
That was exactly my question.
That's what I wanted to talk about. That's my nerd corner moment, bigger than Dr. Soong, I guess.
This is what, like, even to me, this was wild information.
Yeah.
I taught myself.
Okay, yeah, tell me about it, Mr. Non-Trekkie here. How did that blow your hair back?
It didn't make it. That's not. Then why doesn't everybody do it? Then why don't they all just do it? Why would if that's not something specific to Vulcans, then that's completely insane.
I mean, because, yeah, Soong says, oh, she taught herself how to do it, which is, okay, if you can just teach yourself, that's bullshit. If, because you're a super advanced synthetic and somehow you have the technology,
Sure.
that's different.
Then why isn't that the explanation?
Which should
what do you
be.
mean
You're
she
right.
taught it to herself?
Yes, I know,
It's
I know.
not the bassoon.
But
I know.
Sean, I do have a
You played the bassoon, it's hard. No, I've never tried to play the bassoon.
I do have a hypothesis by way of an analogy. So
I don't want it, but go on.
No, it's super quick. So
I've got an enigma wrapped in a conundrum.
So the DC Comics villain Amazo.
No. Eject.
No,
Go on,
the whole
yes.
conceit. The whole conceit is that he's a robot that can like mimic the powers of the Justice League. And some later versions establish that he does that through some like nanotechnological like adaptive thing. And I think in the like Justice League animated series they establish that like he just needs to witness a power being used or understand how it works, and he is able to
Isn't
change.
this what Taskmaster does?
It's Taskmaster has photographic reflexes, so he can't like learn how to like shoot lasers out of his eyes, but
okay.
he can like look at Captain America fighting and then mimic his fighting
Gotcha,
style.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So basically, Amazo is Taskmaster plus the ability to mimic powers as well as abilities or skills.
So she's Amazo. That's what you're saying?
That's my hypothesis specific.
Because I don't see any Vulcans out there that she's learned from.
No, I was gonna say, has she left Synthetic Island?
I mean, it could be something like they have a database of like, known abilities and biological, physical.
Glenn, you're doing the work for the show.
Hey.
I feel
Yeah.
like Star Trek fans do this a lot.
Yeah, listen, it's fully explained in a bit of a comic that's going to come out next week.
Right.
Oh, sure.
You have to buy the supplemental materials.
Yeah.
Or you could just listen to this podcast.
And Glenn will explain it for you, and you will yell at him.
Yeah, you're goddamn right we'll yell at him, because I don't buy it.
So
But no, Glenn, it is true that we are the one of two Picard podcasts.
One of only two.
And Glenn has a canonical answer that he's He hasn't talked to Michael Chabon or Alex Kurtzman or anybody else.
No, but it's canon.
It's canon.
It's actually it's canon that she is Amazo.
That she is literally the DC Comics villain Amazo. Which she probably could have used like the Source Wall, like breached the Source Wall to get into the Star Trek universe.
Sure.
What?
Or I mean, I guess she could have like teamed up with like Rip Hunter or
What?
Wasn't the last like crossover because of Dr. Manhattan? So maybe he just did.
Yes, oh that's true. Yeah.
He just blinked her over.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, I was about to spoil Doomsday Clock, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Don't spoil it for me.
Nobody cares about Doomsday Clock.
I don't know. I think it's harder to blink over from another corporate IP from a parent company that's not shared.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone has tried to use, because the Source Wall in like DC Comics is like essentially the barrier not just to like our reality.
Okay, so Eleanor took over. He's taking off with 7 of 9.
Yes.
Are they going to show up in the finale, do you think? Are they going to show up to...
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just so funny that he's like, I may never see you again. And so then, he might see him tomorrow.
Right.
Seems like.
I do like how everyone keeps making excuses to get away from Eleanor.
I know, right?
Right. Like Eleanor was introduced as like, this is one of our ensemble leads for this show. And then they're like, oh, he's not going to be part of the team anymore. He's on this team now.
It's like, wild.
It's like, okay. And he hasn't done anything.
He's like, I want to come with you. And Pat Stew's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, why no? What do you mean?
Well, to be fair,
he hit the life call button.
The life alert.
That's about all he's done. And then he sat there and fuffed around while all the Borg got murdered and he was jacking off in the corner. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, he didn't save all those Borg.
Nope. He didn't even try then. Then he tried to save Hugh and
didn't go well.
Fucked that up. And
no.
He didn't even murk Rizzo.
Yeah.
All right, she's still around.
Yeah, she has her emergency teleporter.
All right, because she's like Queen Witch Romulan now or Dr. O is. I mean,
I was about to...
Dr. O.
Not Doctor, Commodore.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, how'd the Soji get stabbed in the eye? What happened to her?
It seems like Narek tricked her into giving him food or water, and he used that opportunity to...
Well, Bronzer Soji said, hey...
Like she let him out, right.
Hey, I need you to do something for me. So she, I think, set him up to murder. I think it was all her machinations to scare the rest
into being like, oh, we have to do this.
It's not like kill all humans.
Okay, right.
So you think it's like a false flag?
All synthetics aren't bad. She's just a bad actor, and she's gaming it out so that she can turn the community into pro-genocide. Yeah,
right,
against humans.
I do like that all the synthetics have data skin and eyes are similar. Like,
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's a nice flourish,
isn't it, Sean? Isn't it nice that they have data skin?
Yeah, it's nice.
I should say it is a nice background flourish.
I agree. I think it's lovely. I just want you to say it, Sean. I don't know why I'm picking on you, but
no. I think what's her name, the doctor lady, has just like a scientist fetish.
Girardi?
I think she wanted to fuck fat Data.
Which we talked in another episode about how her motivations have just kind of waffled all over the place.
They're just completely cool. Like, I mean, she murdered. Nope. And Maddox. It said that she wanted to kill Maddox, and she wanted to kill all synthetics. Like, she was on board, and then they brought her to this planet of synthetics. They were very trusting very fast again.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
She murdered, and then she realized she didn't have a taste for it, and she
yeah,
had to turn herself around. And
they did establish that, or at least they tried to establish that, like, the secondhand admonition made her irrational.
No, yeah.
I did like that they're like, maybe it makes people crazy. And it's like, yeah, can't believe nobody thought of that. Dumb Romulans. But
right.
Yeah. And actually, the first lyric of last week's song was, "This green light will turn your ass crazy." So that was prophetic, turns out.
Yep.
Yeah. But then it's like, it's not for you, it's for us. Okay.
So it is. I mean, it is sort of like the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. Like,
right.
Yeah.
The Romulans kept seeing it, so they killed synths, and now the synths are seeing it, so they'll kill humans. None of this would have happened before. We were all cool before.
Right. Well, my theory is that the admonition is actually supposed to be viewed simultaneously by synthetics and organics, and the message is more like, work together, get along. But that doesn't quite make sense, because why would you make it where it's like, if they look at it individually, it's like, kill the other side.
Right.
Right. Well, and for humans, it seems like it's mostly kill yourself.
Right.
Yeah, right.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why everybody kills themselves, because it's like, kill all humans. Okay, I'm a human. Stab, stab, stab.
Oh,
Maybe that's it.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know.
I guess not all humans. Kill all humanoid organisms.
Right. Oh, I'm glad you clarified that, Glenn.
Yes. Hey, look, we were going to get comments about that, and you fucking know it.
Yes. Sorry.
It's possible.
Yeah. I say humans a lot when I mean like Romulans and Vulcans and whatever. Also,
Yeah. Well, as do we all. You know, human.
fucking at me, dickheads. I don't care. No, I just wrote you can teach yourself the Vulcan mind meld really big.
Yeah,
That's my big one.
I was thinking, like, we got another look at the actual admonition, and I'm like 90% sure that the robot from the Will Smith iRobot movie made a cameo. Like, I think
It does, yeah.
right? Like,
I didn't see that movie.
that would be very funny if they just were like, fuck it, just throw some stock footage of Alan Tudyk's character from iRobot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to be like, it's a hearkening back to the one from Disco, but this is like old.
Oh, is that what they look like in Disco?
Because it goes through time. It goes like old robot
Right.
to
Right.
I'm sure it's
that, then data. And then,
Right, they showed a printing press. It was weird.
Did they really? I missed that.
No.
Oh, that's funny. That would have been really funny if it was like just like a fax machine, just like this was where it started. I have a question mainly pointed at you, Wade.
All right, I'll just go fuck myself then.
Yeah. Just do that for a couple minutes and come
There
back.
you go.
So the homicidal fungi comment, where they're like, homicidal fungi, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a reference to Hortas, or do you think that was a Last of Us joke? Horta.
The Horta's not a fungi.
And that's what and that was my question. Like, was it technically a fungus or?
No.
You don't think it's a reference to Discovery when there were homicidal mushrooms?
Yeah, maybe the Discovery more.
Oh, maybe.
I think it's probably. I think, Sean.
Yeah.
That wasn't a question for you, but I appreciate your input because.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, you're welcome. Suck it, Glenn.
Way to butt in where you weren't asked, but you know what? I think Sean's right here.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, maybe I'm sure the writers are Last of Us fans, but I'm just probably a Star Trek reference.
No. The referencing something in Star Trek makes much more sense. I was just, I was trying to think of like, what else could homicidal fungi be referring to? And at the moment, I was like, okay, well, maybe the Horta, or then the other thing.
They're just talking about poison mushrooms from Super Mario Bros.
Ah, well, of course.
Yeah. I'm sure someone will add us with another fungi or something.
And you know what? If that's the case, I look forward to learning what that is.
Yeah.
I'll tell them to eat shit.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll be much nicer.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be a fucking piece of shit to them.
All right.
I'm just letting them know. Now nobody can be surprised.
Where are they going to come at you? You're not really active on Twitter or anything.
No, I'm not. I don't really. No, I'm not big on Twitter.
Yeah. I'll just have to tell you to eat shit on their behalf.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. Yeah.
Or them. Yeah.
Them to eat shit on my behalf. But you can tell me to eat shit on their behalf too, because I'm sure they feel that way.
Sure.
Well, backing away from admonishing our listeners. So Picard is like the green light scenario in Mass Effect. We're agreed on that, right?
Where everything becomes an ooze?
I mean, I guess I'm going to pretend like I don't understand your nerd-ass fucking reference there.
So in Mass Effect, at the end of Mass Effect...
Oh,
it's a good ending versus the red and the asshole track.
well, blue is good, red is bad, and green is every being in the universe comes together into an ooze in order to provide understanding and empathy.
It's not an ooze, they just merge. It's just
it is an ooze.
What? I don't remember it being an ooze.
Yeah, no, you have to go back and re-experience that. It's an ooze.
So that's the Neon Genesis ending.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
Over my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
See?
so.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about Evangelion.
Oh, we could talk. We want this podcast to be 2 more hours long? Sold.
All right, you guys talk about that. I'll talk about...
It's great. I love that.
Yep,
But
and,
all right.
I'll talk about No Man's Sky.
And we will cut you off.
I do. I want to get it for VR.
Yeah, it's totally... I mean, the last thing I'll say on it, I promise.
All right.
Great game now.
All right.
Does that
Only took them several years.
And then, okay, so all this stuff happened. Did we miss anything from this episode?
I don't think we did.
It ended with them, like, imprisoning Picard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and not imprisoning Girardi, because she begged not to.
And then Raffi and Rios are still on the ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right? And Seven and Eleanor are in the Borg cube. Because they went to visit them, and they're like, oh, that's how they found out all the Romulans are coming or some shit, right?
Yeah.
So where did the Federation send the ships that they said they were sending last episode?
They're on their way, I presume.
Okay.
Oh no, they were going to Starbase 12.
Oh, Deep Space 12.
To rendezvous.
So they're not going to this synth planet.
Probably not.
Well, because you had to use.
Bummer.
Well, no, but they established that they used a shortcut to get there.
Right.
You could get there through normal means. That's why it's taking the Romulans 2 days?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. See, another way this show's better than Discovery.
That's true. Space is big.
Oh, space is big. It takes a while to get places. You don't just show up. Vulcan's not conveniently next to wherever it needs to be to get to the space fight at the end.
Well, that's also the problem with Discovery just like inventing the spore drive.
Right, totally. Yeah. I mean, that show did everything to make the galaxy a small place.
Right.
Yeah, that was not...
We've talked about that on that other podcast that's on the same podcast.
The same feed.
Yeah.
They are prequel.
Scroll down.
Yeah, keep going. We'll turn you off eventually.
No replacements covers on that one, though.
Yeah, so it's clearly an inferior pod, I think.
Yeah, clearly. I don't think they had any... I'll go back and look.
Any songs that would work with a Discovery Home Companion?
Yeah.
Well, it'd all be covers from Lake Wobegon.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now we'd have to call it Live From Here.
I don't get that NPR reference.
That's what Prey Home Companion, hosted by the different guy, is now called Live From Here.
Oh, because they didn't want that Garrison Keillor stigma.
Right, exactly. Right,
they didn't want that energy.
We saw it live at Town Hall here with the new guy. This is pretty good.
Oh,
I'm sure it's good.
Okay. Well, I guess if I do the Discovery pod again, I have to change it to live.
No, please don't do the Discovery pod again.
Well, again, I said I'd watch the first episode and see if it hooked me, and then
all right,
fair enough.
I'll watch the first episode.
I will too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say y'all had to come.
Hey,
I said if I do.
We've been.
Well, what if you watch it and you decide you want to do the pod? I have to be ready.
If you're, yeah, well.
Oh, if I'm invited. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, maybe I'll be. Yeah, I'll probably.
No, feel free. Do it with somebody else. I don't want to watch Star Trek. I don't like this shit.
All right, see, because you're so excited about that.
I enjoy hanging out with my friends.
Very much appreciated.
Even if I have to watch Star Trek to do it.
Well,
I mean, that's what I've said this whole time. It's like,
yeah,
Star Trek's really about the community.
Sure.
It's better than the actual show.
Yeah,
a lot of the time. So,
and speaking of,
that's what I'm here for.
Yep.
No, let's keep saying words.
Nope. Too
Wade,
late.
how about fuck.
So, status report time. It's going to be brief this week.
You say that every week.
It's time for our least favorite segment of the pod and everybody that listens to it's most favorite.
Everybody else's favorite. People love status report. I'm wrong.
Do they really? Like, I don't. I'm not on Discord or anything, so I have no idea what people actually say about this.
No, I mean reviews. People. Now we're here at the end. People love.
This sucks.
And I have to let you out of your box and tell you, Glenn, that the people actually love status update, and I get a lot of messages saying you should let him talk more and stop being such a dick, or it's the best, so.
All right, so 30 minutes starting now. Hit the timer.
Shit, fuck. See, are you not entertained, right. People?
This is fine. I won't say anything. Go on. Do your
Sean. Just report. go into your mind palace where I don't exist. Star Trek doesn't exist. You'll be fine.
Right. So I mean, I'm just telling you this week, Glenn, and next week. You can yell at Sean all you want.
Ooh.
Yeah,
ooh, how the
take the gloves off.
How the tables
You should. Turned. Why haven't you been yelling at me?
I know. We've been trying to get you to stiffen up. And that's my hope for this. If you want this season of Can't Picardly Wait to have an arc, you're going to have to grow a fucking
We want you to build character.
All right. We'll see what happens next week. But for now, I guess, Sean, I'm displeased with your attitude sometimes. But I mostly...
This is unpleasant.
I can't even.
But you will.
So current status, I am 32.09% of the way through Star Trek, which granularly means I am 87 episodes into Next Generation. So that's, I think, about halfway through season 4. Fucking great. Next Generation's awesome. Great show. Love it. It's, I think there's only been one episode recently that I even, like, qualified as, like, mediocre. Like, I've really, at the very least, like, enjoyed everything I've seen so far this season.
Yeah.
There are, I'm trying to think, what was the, I feel like there was an episode recently I wanted to talk about that might have been relevant.
You got me. I haven't watched TNG in years, other than I watched a few, like, DS9 relevant episodes before we started.
Oh, yeah.
And the Scottish fuck candle.
I think...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, what did you say?
Scottish... Ooh, spoilers. There's a Scottish ghost candle that fucks.
That's...
So, it's just what you're missing out on in TNG there, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That now I'm interested.
Yeah, well, Sean, I said this before. Next Generation is a supremely horny show on the whole. Like,
That's,
Yeah.
But anyway, so fourth season has been really great. I'm super into this series at least, and like, as I think I said this last week, but I'm hoping now that, you know, there's much less going on. I'm gonna be able to kind of. My goal is at least to finish TNG relatively soon, and then from there, I think I'm gonna just finish the series and then watch all the movies because.
I wish you would.
Hey, but I've seen a lot of, like, relevant, like.
I'm just giving you a hard time, but I'm just so I'm livid that you will not have finished it by the time we finish this season.
Hey, it's, you know,
I'm livid, Glenn.
Wade, it's a week in between now and then. It is not. There's a non-zero chance that I will.
Yeah, like, what else do you got to do? You ain't, yeah.
I'm working remotely and not much is happening.
Playing Animal Crossing. And
Oh god, Animal Crossing's so good.
Oh shit, sorry I brought it up.
No, it's fine. So anyway, back to TNG. So so it's fucking great. I'm on First Contact now. The episode, not the movie, where I believe this is the first instance where they establish that warp drive is, like, the threshold for the Federation contacting societies.
Maybe.
Because they've talked about the Prime Directive a lot. This is the first thing I've seen it, or at least I can remember seeing, where they specifically tie it to warp technology.
Okay.
And because before...
And this is where they go put on alien disguises to go down.
Yep. Where Riker gets up to some...
Right. He gets in some sex trouble.
Exactly, yeah. But one other thing before ending the segment. So I've actually been keeping a list of, like, general observations that from my TNG watch that I feel like will be relevant or could be relevant to Picard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the main one is Lal, Data's daughter,
yeah.
Which I'm surprised that has not been mentioned in any capacity at any point in Picard.
Right.
Because
that's a weird thing to not bring up when the whole show is about Data's fucking daughter.
Yeah, right. It's like man, pouring out for Lal, poor thing.
Yeah.
But which Lal's, like, neutral factory setting is deeply disturbing.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
It's a guy in, like, a weird skin colored cat suit, but, like, his face. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. If maybe even like another Star Trek alien, but it's just like a weird.
In D&D terms, it would be a changeling, and it's like neutral.
Something
state.
Like that. Yeah. It looked real weird, and thankfully, that was not how it looked for the entire episode, and it just became a regular person at some point.
Right.
But, I'm very surprised that has not been brought up. And I'm also curious, how has Q not been mentioned at any point during...
Because if they bring Q into this, it just breaks everything, so it's best just ignore it, yeah.
I've seen some people suggest that Q is, like, involved behind the scenes in some capacity.
Yeah, people would love that, but I doubt it. But, I mean... Q's something they'll save for season 2 when they're just full nostalgia machine.
Sure. Well, John Delancey's so fucking great in those episodes.
Right. And then I guess I can't remember. He shows up in Voyager. There may be, like, a reason why he stops fucking with people by this time.
Right. Even in TNG, like as of the last Q episode I watched, he like resolved to, obviously, that changes down the line, but
yeah. I mean, he always ends up resolving. Okay, I'm done fucking, and then they find a reason to bring him back, obviously.
Right. But I'm curious if he'll show up either in this season or season 2. Again, if nothing else, because John Delancey, terrific actor in general in both like TNG and Breaking Bad.
Right. I mean, if they want to go full Deus Ex Machina and just say, "Oh, the synthetics are going to kill everybody," and then Q just says, "No, they don't."
I'm trying to think of what.
Oh,
yeah, because
here you go. Here's a theory: the God synthetics that are going to come save them at the end is actually the Q continuum.
Now that would be interesting if like the Q continuum turned out to be a higher form of synthetic life.
Right. I mean, because it's a conceit in Star Trek that after you get advanced enough, you basically just become a space god, like the Q continuum or whatever.
Right. Which I think we talked about this via text at one point, because the idea of magic in the Star Trek galaxy is super interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
Like, I know it's like all supposedly like Clarkian, just advanced technology, but there's that the Traveler from an early episode who showed.
Yeah, no, he comes back.
Yeah, he comes back, and but that character specifically establishes that like there is a threshold where thought becomes
right
just a method of changing the world around you, and so that's my unifying theory, is that all of these godlike beings you see, they've just reached that threshold of like our thoughts are we are able to manifest our thoughts into reality.
I mean, yeah, that is. Yeah, that's kind of
I'm assuming at some point that probably is expounded upon. Like,
I mean, yeah, that everybody. I mean, the Changeling, the Traveler, the Q Continuum, other things. After you get advanced enough, you become a space god and do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you're beyond the physical, and you can do whatever. You're a space god.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
a proud Star Trek tradition.
Right. But these are synthetic space gods. Oh my god.
Yeah, which look, even though it is. Ripped. I'll play the whistle. Hold on, because we're done with that. And so, look at that!
Wake up, Sean! Wake up! Wake up!
Hold on a sec. Wait a second. Oh yeah, wee woo, motherfuckers! All right, I got my own goddamn status report. Let me tell you. First of all, 100% of our listeners are a bunch of nostalgia-fueled turds who would rather hear about fucking old Star Trek on a podcast about new Star Trek. All right. And Glenn, and 100% of Glenn's on this podcast are windbags. Wee woo, wee woo, motherfuckers!
How dare you?
There's something
sheer fucking humor, Sean. This is a Star Trek podcast, and you think you can come on here and insult a whole
8 people,
a whole segment.
Not a
Sean,
segment, a whole. He's not just insulting you, Glenn.
No.
He's insulting me. He's insulting
right.
I mean, he just said every listener of this pod.
Every listener.
And there's none of the fine Kickers of Health podcasts have we ever had anything but most love and respect for every wish and of every listener. And
now, Sean, I'm going to say this just because I know it's a reference you'll get. That tirade you just went on had big Waboom guy energy.
Yeah, sure.
Or more specifically, when the other guy got mad at Waboom guy.
Right, I was going to say, that's not what Waboom does.
No. That's not the Waboom lifestyle.
The Bachelorette.
Hey, this is my podcast. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sean and I are going to start a Bachelor or Bachelorette podcast.
That is a crowded space, my friend.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is.
But have we put the...
That's more crowded than fucking Star Trek podcast.
And we'll do a status report for that.
Glenn, you motherfucker.
Knock yourself out.
End this goddamn episode.
Oh, well, we just ended status report, so I mean, I don't know, man. I had a lot of fun with this episode of Picard, and I've been miserable this whole time talking. No, that's not true. I love talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a lot of fun.
But if anybody has anything to plug, any ways to pass the time while you're quarantined, or
Doom's great.
Hey, shit.
you watch Star Trek. I don't know, right, Sean?
Yeah, watch Star Trek.
I'm going to be watching Star Trek, and
I'm broken. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm all about just beating Sean down.
It worked. It's fine.
Break
Did it.
Hey, I'm glad it's not me.
For once.
All right, I expect a report back on what Star Trek you've watched next week, Sean.
It sucks.
Hey, that's not the question I asked. I wanted to report what you watched. Because I can't Picardly wait for what's coming.
Space flights in this show look kind of bad. Picard and his crew almost lose. They show undue mercy to Namek. Saved by Borg Cube Captain 709. Eaten by a big flower. In case you didn't know, it's an orchid. Picard tells his friends about his brain thing. They all seem really sad. The Borg survived, Eleanor survived. Guess he's taking off with 7. I bet they're gonna come and rescue Picard again. Fucking again, Jesus Christ. Look at all these synthetics. Old fat Data's a dude. Karma mind meld did with the doctor. Decided to kill all humans. Feels a lot like Discovery. Can Picardly wait? This shit's dumb. Picardly wait. Fucking dumb. Picardly wait. Really dumb. Picardly wait. Control. Picardly wait. Fuck Michael Javon. Picardly wait.
I can't wait.
Picardly
I
wait.
can't. All right.
Hey, how'd you guys like the smooth jazz version of Can't Picardly Wait last week?
I thought it was great, actually.
I haven't listened to it.
Oh, Sean, you son of
Yeah, take a listen because
I'll
I
listen.
had to. It was late at night, so I couldn't do the usual thing because it's super,
Oh, it's. I mean, the pipes. You got the pipes are piping on Glenn.
There you go.
It's smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I
sultry
don't
sound.
think it's also not a hot take that Glenn's a better singer than I am.
no, not at all.
I guess so. I mean, sure, but yeah, no, it sounded great. I thought, yeah. Y'all got anything else you want to say about COVID or
What is
or-
that noise you're making?
It's Petey. It's my dog.
Oh, I thought that was you. I thought that was
No,
you.
he has to go out. He just walked up to me.
Oh no!
That's so funny.
Well, I guess we're done here.
Yeah,
you can take. them out.
Yeah, no. Tell everybody be safe. Don't even from me. Like, don't be a dick and go out. Don't fucking.
Yeah, seriously. A video game recommendation I can make besides Animal Crossing. No Man's Sky is really good, but there's a game that I'd argue is better than No Man's Sky at doing what that game wanted
There's
to
a
do.
lot.
What?
There's a lot of games
Impossible.
better than No Man's Sky. What
No,
game is it?
sorry.
Glenn? Minecraft.
That's impossible.
Subnautica, which is basically No Man's Sky but underwater.
Oh sure, you've been
on, a big
pitching
ocean planet.
Subnautica on me for like years.
It's fucking great. It
No,
is
I'll
such
play
a-
it.
It's and especially you got the VR, so I bet that'll be really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In the cinematic mode.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, yeah, Liz, I gotta
right.
go. I gotta walk Petey.
All right.
All right, I gotta go check on this baby.
All
Very
right.
good.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.